We have our ticket drawings on the left here with the Visionary Luminous table. Please sign your name if you haven't already. If you already did, thank you so much. But yes, we do have our ticket drawing. So if you, for every $1 that you're donating, you will get a ticket, which we will do some drawings. One of the drawings will be right before lunch, and another drawing will be at the end of the day. So we do have a lot of very interesting gifts and prizes that you can win. So we have like the gift baskets over here. We have some certificates for spiritual cleansing. And we do have little like kits here where it's like cleansing kits where you can get like some cleansing water and also cleansing candles. And they were all homemade too. So hey, who might be the lucky winner today? All right, so that's $1 per ticket. And donations are always welcome, of course. If you don't have it, it's totally fine. We understand. But if you are able to, please, you can definitely make your donations at the spots over here where he's standing on the left. And all the proceeds will be going to support our nonprofit organizations, just so that we can continue to sustain and be able to make these events like affordable or free of charge for all of our attendees. And also to continue to also support in the future to be able to possibly provide like more like support or stipends for our practitioners and our guest speakers, panelists, and etc. Which that is a goal of ours. Thank you so much for your support. We do have some snacks here on the right too, so please help yourself. There's water as well. We will be later on around noontime. We'll be doing a potluck style lunch. So please stick around and have lunch with us as well. We have vendors in the back, okay? There's like a lot of them, so go and like take a look, support our local vendors. With they have a very beautiful like handiwork, very beautiful art and crafts, makeup, beauty supplies. So please go and support them as well. We do have on the left over here is AMA. Raise your hand too. Yes, right there. Age-related access. So they will be providing COVID shots, right? Yep, okay. COVID shot. $25 incentive. Whoa, hey, you can get $25 incentive, so why not, right? So get your COVID shot today, protect yourself, everyone else around you. Thank you so much.
cho anh gì lưu lý cho gì kia thực chất là tại đây cho anh số này là mà đây cho bé cô là hay mà nhau đúng có ý cho sao cũng chế thế cho tập cái chế tao cho nó là để xin cái chế tao mà là hiểu thế tập tao chế thế à rồi bắt đầu chúng mình là của mai cái này chỉ là khó xia này à chỉ là sao cũng chế này thì rồi nằm ở bên họ mua hai tiền kia sai của nhiều trong chúa kia thì tôi giờ nó nói tài thì nó mà tao cũng chế thế là vậy đi cho lò rồi với nhau thế thì không sẽ đây đó thì giờ này số nó cho nó mà nay có community TV, YouTube TV cứ record lại có cho nó để mà share there. There's just so much information that we shared yesterday, and I probably take my whole life to digest the information. Because I myself, a student of Hmong, but which stop both sides, to gain them on for automation and don't know it don't know that. As you know that we có COVID shot COVID shot thì khi đâu số tụ vậy này cho bây giờ lò này vậy này cũng cho lò cho tao tập chế nè cả tua lúc nào là số tôi nhớ tao bên nào sao ông một xíu cho lò thì cho mua mò thì lấy hàng cái ý cho mà xa chơi công lò giờ lớn mua chơi công tôi hiện xa hoặc là cái thì hai đứa nó về rồi thì bên cho cái thì cho immune compromise rồi cái chua thì thái cái tôi thì thái kia là cái thì lúc nằm thế lúc nọ thì bên tôi thả cho cái nó áp vào cái đầu nó được cái nó sát chua thì cái thì thái nữa thì cho nên thằng nên khó thế nào vậy à thì để cho một nhân sinh cho cái mình cứ mình nhọ để tiếp thị những các bạn trẻ chỉ tập ôn giải nhưng mà ưu và tôi bên nhau cho ám mộng thì tôi sai ý cũng cho tàu này của chú là một shopping về ở một cái không biết là khó kiện á thì có thể họ một hai bao nhiêu with the high tea to sort to watch your make a common senate. It would be a bit, I do we lot of making the dear, not the wrong Jane, or who be doing your little Jane. Chabignon, lose a season of life, senior daycare. Giờ nên một cháu lò xã tao đi cha đi mà nhau rồi bé hải bây giờ thì chế lò đấy à, là chỉ xua lu ở cô nhóc nó đấy, lấy một rô có được cháu lò to thiên, nó mới được khủng trai ta là nó biết là xí của nó nó biết xí là để bỏ được khủng cho nó đấy mà, nhà tôi lu này xã tôi sai là quan điểm sắp phải để tôi sai là tao, ở nhà xã sổ nó lỡ mua我哋係home care，做好多一 day care， 一做有 home care 啦。呢啲可唔可以有落一特隻三萬塊錢嚟咗啊？你去講8萬多得啦，你去講多得，都叫得等那種啦，一三手的時間，8點的時間，因為在國海路上落面的摸被洗，也被洗路了，路高路斜了天，你怎麼也沒見到8邊路工作了，這邊路conference 那天那那那種的呀。一度是超背个，有天有读这个，老中的人才高，而且是超背个那对吧？对，所以叫那天，大家说了，我一路 dance studio 的，我一叫meeting 的，那3期的，几多我闹好，你闹了到其他说了到嘛呢 ？So just run down a little bit of what we have today， 路都还大了，一边阿蒙也没有比我给叫做还的，比份工叫蒙对人的这个干了呢。bây giờ nên vào chùa bây tôi đi vào chùa tôi bây giờ mình cha số xong thì họ sẽ có bây họ qua mong American Day là kìa thì họ sẽ có cha là sau đó bây họ mong day kìa bây họ đi mong day mà bây giờ mình cha thì bây họ kêu là nhà này là họ muốn chuyển sang này cho tổ công đó rồi là phải sử dụng này cho công cứ đi cha ta đây bây giờ họจะđi canh cho nên thì tôi thì chắc là mỗi lần đi chơi ta đấy tôi đã ăn hỏi là cái rồi là cái gì từ họ tôi suy nghĩ tới đấy thì bây giờ ở một bên mặt đi thì nhớ là sao là nó để được hoàn thành cái sao thì giờ mình trả về họ muốn để giờ mình trả muốn để họ chuột sau đó về luôn cũng giống một cái là cái họ phải xử lý xong mà qua một chuyện cái món nó đau ya phải chơi một đồ đây kia tàu xong tới thì bây giờ mua một là hai system cái mua được bây giờ còn sẽ kia rồi cháu vào chơi nhau chơi rõ thiên là gì mà đây tua là và mong ý sự hay à giờ nên mà đi tuổi giờ tua là sao ba này là với nhau và vì thì nó chỉ có thể sau nó phải sau này.
Alright, thank you Neng so much for that. So I know that we're really nearing a time for our panelist discussion to start. Just wanted to kind of introduce a little bit about Visionary Luminous. Yesterday I talked about and I made a presentation about Visionary Luminous, but today because it's a new day, just wanted to just briefly introduce Visionary Luminous to the rest of you who have not heard or seen our presentation yesterday. So Visionary Luminous is a recently founded nonprofit organization, and it's just recently launched like last year. So it's very brand new, but our mission and our objective is to be able to work on destigmatizing mental illness in the AAPI communities, so Asian American and Pacific Islander communities, basically integrating holistic wellness and arts as well as spirituality together to be able to create new narratives as well, and to also increase or raise awareness within our communities as well about some of the mental illness struggles that we're going through. And just pretty much destigmatize it, having normal conversations about it, making it normal, right? And how do we go about doing that as well is acknowledging that everyone has their own, identity and having their own struggles that they go through, whether it's culturally, right, or religiously, all that. And this is pretty much just to create a very safe and non-biased zone, non-judgmental zone for everyone to come and embrace the culture of healing. And I can't stress that enough, and I call it the culture of healing because it's not about black or white. It's not about you and me. It's about all of us. We're trying to heal each other, and healing should come at I would say like no cost. Honestly speaking. But we understand that we live in a world that is kind of dictated by like, money, right? Money and the dollar signs. So, I think like the purpose behind our vision is to try to create more opportunities where we can promote more free healing if we are able to. And that comes a lot with like our practitioners, So very want to, at the bottom of my heart, to thank all of our practitioners who are here volunteering their time. And so that we are able to allocate a certain time frame to provide free healing, right, for our community members. Because we truly believe that, and we support the vision of like the culture of healing. So that's kind of where we're kind of going. So hopefully in the future we can start to host more events where we can make healing accessible and affordable or free of charge for the rest of our community members as well, and to also close a gap between the older generation and the younger generation as well, because we do see that there is a disconnect, right? There's a disconnect between the older generation who has passed on or those who are still here, but in the younger generation as well, and our kids, the next generation to come. So we really want to close that gap, and all the stereotypes or like stigma that's like kind of surrounding that, that's clouding that. We really want to be able to kind of like brush that away and slowly help everyone heal from the generational trauma that we're going through. And so I think that's one of our vision is really trying to like promote like education as well and resources, right? I hear a lot of our folks and community members telling me like there's a lot of resources. We have resources for mental health, like mental health resources, I'm sorry. But we don't have resources for who we can go to when we're like suffering from like spiritual crisis. Like, who do we go to? Is there a 411? There's no 411. And so what we really also want to hope is that we can be able to create a network, right? And solidify that. And be able to like present that to people who might need help and looking for help, And yesterday you guys missed out, but we did have this whole discussion about certification for like healers and practitioners, and trying to see if like we can somehow be able to work with like healthcare, right, in the government to be able, so healthcare insurance to be able to implement a policy where we can bill, right, like our practitioners can bill, and maybe our shamans can bill, and how to go about doing that, right? So that was one very fascinating topic of discussion that we had yesterday, which I also acknowledge that, if providers, like mental health providers and doctors, healthcare providers, they are like held accountable for their actions, and treating patients every day, and they have to provide documentations and whatnot. I also believe that as a shaman myself, because I am a shaman too, and a practitioner myself, like I believe that we should be, held to that level of expectation as well. And that, we should also see it as like a profession within our own rights, and to be able to hold on to our roots, like just having that on our radar that's like, visible, right? Visibility. I talked about visibility, it's like our ancestors and our parents, when they do shaman rituals, they do under the table. I don't want to put it that way, but it's behind closed doors, right? It's kind of like a hush hush. I don't know, maybe I might be right or wrong, but according to my experience, that's kind of how things has been. Like my father he's also a shaman before he passed. And a lot of times people don't really bring it out there. They like to do it behind closed doors, and like when you're asking for a shaman referral, they're like, no, we don't know, And so it's very hard for people to seek for help. So I think that if we are able to get to that level, like that would be great, So I think continuing to have this dialogue would be great. But otherwise that, today we have our panelists who will be coming on here, and we are very excited to have them here as well. And have Nancy too. She'll be the MC. So Nancy, why don't you just get on stage? Don't be shy.
I'm not shy at all. I'm just going to set up a little bit here. here, but as I'm setting up, I want to welcome everyone. We have a group of 6 panelists, and they're going to, like a group of 3 will be sharing one mic, and then a group of 3 here will be sharing my mic. And so, again, my name is Neng Xiong. By day, on weekdays, I am a nonprofit organizer. I work and support small business and startups, providing resources and lending services. That's what I love to do, former educator at the college level, but by nights and by evenings and weekends, I'm a Reiki healing practitioner, a sound healing practitioner, and a spiritual guidance mentor. And so I see a few of my students here. So excited! Oh yay! We have 3. That's so great. Okay, I can be done in white. No problem. But again, so welcome. And we're gonna, before I bring my panelists come up, I want to share as to why the importance of this panel discussion. And again, this panel discussion makes up 6 local healing practitioners, and they have their own specialty, their own techniques, their own gifts towards healing, towards the healing journey, towards living an authentic life, towards a life purpose. And so as you all are listening then throughout the 1.5 hour that we're going to be here today, ask yourself, do you see yourself in those shoes? I'm going to take my panelists from past, future, and present. And so I encourage you to ask questions. We're going to go for about 1 hour, and in the last 30 minutes so, we're going to do Q&A. And so I'd love to have a conversation with everyone. Up here, we'll do a conversation as well. But take down some questions. There's no dumb questions. If you don't know, you don't know. And so I always tell my students, the questions that you ask will take you where you need to go. Will help you determine your next destination. So ask questions. So I want to invite all my panelists to come up and take a seat. And I'll introduce them one by one, okay? So come on up, my panelists. Anywhere. It's your calling, it's your. So we're gonna have the middle person here, Maria, you take the mic. You'll be in charge of the mic. So if Kevin talks a lot, you take it away from him. If Channing talks a lot, you take it away from him. Ooh, all right. We have Nellie. So y'all take turn using the mic. So I have, let's go down the line here. We have, I'm going to start with Hank, who's way actually right next to him. So y'all know where he is and how he looks like. So here's Hank Roninger. You can sit, yeah, sorry. Unless you want to stand. Yeah, so we have Hank Roninger. And I'm going to read his bio, honor him, that he sent out, okay? So I'm reading his whole bio. So Payne Rodenher is a local licensed acupuncturist, medical intuitive, and master of Qigong. As a medical intuitive, he has the ability to sense the physical, mental, and emotional ailments of his patients. He combines these gifts to treat both the symptom and the source. It is Payne's belief that reblocks the ability to connect with our inner teacher. As an aspect of our inner consciousness, also known as our inner intelligence of sorts, which guides us towards our highest self or our sense of ideal. It unnecessarily reminds us to be ideal and calls attention to our behaviors, which might make us fall short of our ideal. He's not perfect, and he believes that we are all here on a journey to transform darkness into light. And that of some our physical ailments are opportunity to discover the self through achieving our ideal. These lessons may sometimes overwhelm us. However, honest self-reflection, compassion, gratitude, and forgiveness of self and others may lead to your healing. And through Ping's approach of combining acupuncture and spirituality, he believes he can help patients being aware of their inner intelligence, he calls the inner teacher. So let's give a round of welcome to Peng Rose. And then our panelists are local. So if you resonate with them, they're going to be hanging out here for part of the day or for the rest of the day. So go and ask them questions. Ask them for a healing, or ask them for an appointment. Ask them for coffee. Next we have Nellie. Nellie is a master shaman spiritual healer. With over 12 years of experience, Nellie has conducted numerous readings, soul callings, energy healing, spiritual cleansing, commercial cleansing, and diverse spiritual ceremonies, also known as in one name for people in need. Master Nellie also specializes in awakening new shamans, giving them the necessary education and knowledge to follow their own spiritual journey. During her free time, she enjoys the outdoors, hiking, traveling, and exercising after gym. Additionally, Nellie is also a passionate line dance instructor. Overall, leading with the motto, live life to the fullest and make a difference along the way. So let's welcome Nellie Day. Is Suzanne Moore. Suzanne Moore. So both Nellie and Suzanne, they have a table at Room B. So if you feel called to connect with them, feel free to do so this afternoon. Suzanne Moore is a certified body chemical analyst and is dedicated to using the power of food energy as medicine to achieve true healing. Over a decade of experience seeking for healing solutions for her daughter's intractable epilepsy, she has delved into both Western medicine and holistic approaches. In 2022, her quest for answers led her to discover RBTI, which stands for Green's Biological Theory of Ionization, which is a biochemical test. This biochemical test revealed the cause of her daughter's intractable epilepsy condition, and it gave her vital information on what, when, and how to feed her daughter. She diligently practiced the RBTI diet and lifestyle for the last 28 months and witnessed her daughter's seizures decrease from 30 a day to averaging 5 or fewer daily. Now Suzanne eagerly shares her RBTI body chemistry rebalancing expertise and services, hoping to empower others to achieve optimal health and embark on their own paths to recovery through using the RBTI testing and specific food energy to be the healing zone. So let's welcome Suzanne Moore. Next in front of me is Chandy Beg. Chandy is a licensed alcohol drug counselor and mental health professional in Minnesota. Her sobriety and long life journey helping others led her to her own opening of her own wellness studio, Healing Haven and Wellness, where she also practiced healing energy as a Reiki master, data practitioner, and emotional freedom technique, EFT, also known as EFT. Chandy's mission as a healer is to empower individuals to transcend and reach their true potential while supporting them through their healing. So let's welcome Chandy once again. In front of me is Maria Green. Maria Green is a certified colon hydrotherapist. Hydrotherapist. There you go. Colon hydrotherapist and an energy healing practitioner. And just for selfish reasons, she's also my mentor, who has helped me in such a long way. So please, if you're called to connect with her, please connect with her later this afternoon. Maria Green has been performing colon hydrotherapy, energy healing with cranial sacred techniques since 2007. She has had over 16 years of experience and have given literally thousands of colonic sessions. She has obtained her education, training experience, and certification through International Association of Colon Hydrotherapy. And I know that this might be a very new technique for many of you. She's here. I'm invited her to share more of what that is. I call it internal cleansing. She believed that the colonics are perhaps the most powerful modality that you can incorporate into your self-care routine. After years of issues with chronic digestive problems, constipation, and allergy, she was fortunate enough to be introduced to colonics when she was in her early 30s and was able to completely resolve her issues. Healing the digestive issues allowed her to connect with herself on a much deeper level in terms of how her emotions, her mindset, and energy affected her physical health. Colonics empowered her ability to digest, assimilate, and eliminate on every level. So she'll be sharing more in a bit about what colonic therapy is and her journey. And lastly, but not the least, is Kevin McCoy. I hope I pronounced it right, Kevin. Okay. So Kevin is a sound and pranic healer, and pranic also means energy. He works with chronic illnesses on all different levels. Labels for all labels, different labels of illnesses Western medicine has come up with, including physical, emotional, and mental worlds. He is most familiar with social anxiety and severe depression, in which he has endured for 16 years personally with depression. He now has techniques because of his personal experience. He has techniques that works to heal all these different types of issues. And he also has a table for chronic healing, so we'll be offering many sessions. So if you want to know what that feels like, please sign up, talk to him, pick his brains. And so please welcome Kevin McCoy. McAvoy, yes, McAvoy, just say that 10 times, McAvoy. At the end of the day, I'll be real present. Kevin McAvoy. So I'm going to be taking our panelists through a journey, through their lived experience. I have shared that they can share as much as they like, when they're comfortable. Our journey can be very triggering at times when it comes to, especially our spiritual journey. And so they will share as much as they can. Again, remember that our panelists is coming from a place of love and from a place of compassion and with their own lived experience. And so please, listen, question from a place of love and ask questions, all right? And so the first question, we'll be diving into the past. And let's see, the past. Spiritual awakening. Where did this all begin for you? What does it mean to you? Can you share what it was like when you started venturing into your spiritual journey? And what did you wish you knew? All right, so who wants to take part in it? Again, spiritual awakening. What does that mean to you? When did this all start for you? Can you share what it was like when you started venturing into your spiritual journey? And what did you wish you knew? So I'd like to have panelists share what comes to mind. And most of the time, those are the things that are most present. Go for it.
All right. Thank you for having me, and thank you for all coming today. Well, you guys know me, I'm Nellie. Well, that's a long story, but I'm gonna make it short. The past, when I was a little girl, I dreamed a lot. I dreamed that I was flying a lot. Every single night I was trying to fly. I think I was like about 10 or 11 years old or 12. And every single night I was, dreaming of flying, and it was very scary. And I thought I was normal like other kids, and I never got a chance to share to my parents. I never shared to my parents because I was scared, and I thought I was normal. And when I fly in my dream, I'm like an eagle. It's like an eagle you know how eagle flies on the skies? They fly very, very, very high, and when they want to land on the floor, it's like boom, it's very scary that you fall from the sky. It's like a roller coaster. And every night I dream about that. And I never knew that it's part of my awakening when I was little. Until later on, I find out that I was gifted. I have spiritual guides, and I find out that that's how it is when you are gifted, you're going to become a shaman later on. You have spiritual guides that take you spiritually and take your soul to travel around the world. And most of the young people, when they come to see me, and they say they dream flying a lot. So it's a sign. It's a sign that you guys going to be awakening. You're going to have spiritual guides. Another dream that it's very scary. I dream of floating under space. So I don't know if any of you have that experience in the past. If you do, let me know. Um, yeah, have you seen the Sixth Sense movie before? Yes. It's kind of like that. So the Sixth Sense movie, you floating under space, it's all dark. And you see the sky, you see like, so all the planets. And I was floating, I was floating, I was floating. And suddenly I fell, I fell, I don't know where, but I just wake up. And I happened many, many times to me, and every time I'm gonna go sleep and I'm just scared that I'm gonna have those, I would say nightmare, but in a different way. I don't think it's a nightmare, I think it's more like awakening. They are taking my soul to the other side, or they may show my soul before coming to earth. It's kind of like all of us, we do have a soul before we come to earth. The Kuan Yin, which is Neng Xiong, right? You guys all know that? She's the one who sent our soul to our body. And that's only now that I found out, that could be the reason why I have those dreams. But before, I never knew that. Before I was like, oh, it's just a nightmare. Yeah. So my soul was floating and until I come to my body. Yeah. That's why it's like my soul just go back to the past, and I made me feel like I'm still floating on the space. So that was that, and until recently, I see shadow sometime here and there. Sometimes I just like close my eye. I see white shadow a lot. Sometimes I feel like the corner eye somebody just look at me, and like it's just it's okay. It's just normal. I thought everybody's like that, so I never share to anybody until today. I share to you guys. So if you guys have the same experience, or some of you, family or friends, kind of weird like that, just ask questions, what's going on, and tell them to find some help. And until recently, 2000, I would say 2010, 2011, that's the time that I have a lot of depression. Deep, deep depression, and what they call sheer. So I go into very deep depression, and I sometimes just cry for no reason. My husband doesn't yell at me, he doesn't hit me. But somehow I just like feel sad all the time. And my body was aching all day. I don't know why. And sometimes all day, sometimes just certain time of the day, like maybe 5, 6 p.m. Sometimes 7 in the evening. So this is a time that I have those illness, like body aching. And it's not like I'm doing exercise or doing anything. So I never knew that was this symptom of awakening process as a shaman. Until, some people didn't know, you guys know me, I talk in YouTube about my experience, how it happened to me, and like I was punished. I was punished. And spiritual, in the spiritual way, or and the other side, our spiritual guides are very, very strong energy, very strong. It's incredible. Because when that experience happened to me and I test them to see if they're real. I test them to say, are they my spiritual guides or it's just dreaming? So I test them when they came to my body and they used my body and I was paralyzed. I was hurting, paralyzed to death. And I was crying, and oh my gosh. And it's just like, yeah, and I said, oh, okay, I give up. Okay. If my spiritual guides are that strong and they can like torture my body, but I'm still conscious. I know that where I am, I know who I am, I know exactly where is my body, but my body was paralyzed, completely paralyzed. I couldn't move. And that's the time that, I find out that I had to take that option. I had to take that decision to become a shaman, to become a healer, mostly a healer. So I accept my journey. And I say, okay, go ahead, let's do it. If my gift is to come to earth to heal people, to help people, and I'm ready for that. Yeah. That's why it started 2012, and I raised my altar and I saw my journey until now. Anybody wants to share? I think I share a lot.
Go for it. Who's next? Give me this group over here. Yeah, one of these two. Go for it.
What was the question?
The question was past. Take us back to where spiritual awakening. Like, when did it start and how did it start? And what was happening? Share with us.
Okay. So for me, the spiritual awakening started for me when I was in my childhood, basically, growing up in middle school and high school. Oh, like this. Okay. So yeah, for me, it started when I was kind of middle school, high school age. I was in this emotional state of really, really deep depression and anxieties, like really bad social anxieties. Like I would not have been able to sit up here back in high school without freaking out and having panic attacks. Even like having one-on-one conversations with people, it was just like overwhelming to the point where I would just stare at people's feet, and that was the only way I could do the conversation. And then even beyond that, it was just like wildly depressed and thoughts of suicide, thoughts of like, why am I even here? Should I, like, do people even want me here? Things like that were kind of spitting in my head. And as I was graduating high school, I kind of just came to this realization of like, I don't care what it takes. I need to do whatever I can to get out of this state. And it was a lot of trial and error, trying lots and lots of different things for many, many years. Initially, it was like, okay, like let's deal with the social anxiety. So let's get introduced to like some dating coaches, and let's go out to bars and just throw myself into all these different social situations to basically get myself comfortable in them. And it was very, very difficult for many, many years. Lots of crying, lots of pain, and lots of struggle, basically. And eventually, this kind of, one of my dating coach teachers, he said this thing to me that really stuck with me, which was, in order to attract the perfect partner in your life, you have to become the perfect partner. So that got me thinking of like, okay, like who do I need to become? Who do I need to like change? What do I need to change about myself to like start attracting better things in my life? So that led me to different self-help books, different self-help organizations, doing all these different workshops, starting to do meditation, working out, and getting in better shape. Coming from this place of like really kind of chunky and fatter to like losing a lot of weight and getting strong. And eventually I kind of got to this place about 3 years ago where I was kind of reflecting on my whole life, and I was like, wow, I actually really like where I am right now. I love all the people around me. I love my friends, my family, like everything's going really, really well. And it was from that place that I decided that, okay, now I want to start to give back to people. Now I want to help people out because I've received so much love from other people. I want to give back now. And it was kind of just like putting that out in the universe in my meditations. And then I got introduced to a Reiki teacher, started learning all that, started learning Qigong, and then eventually learned pranic healing, which is what I do now. And combining that with sound healing, which is something I've just naturally been able to do my whole life because I've been a classically trained musician since I was 3 years old. And just finding a way to combine all that and really just use these skills to help people realize, this is kind of like my answer to like spiritual awakening, that you're not the body, you're not the emotions, you're not the thoughts, you're the soul, you're this light. And once you can recognize that and feel that and experience that, that is really truly what I believe waking up is.
Thank you. That's so beautiful put together. Yes, next.
Hi, my name is Maria. So my spiritual journey starts when I was probably maybe about 5. And my mother was the old traditional Hmong dad, but my mother had integrated and married my dad, and he was all about church, because on that side is about Christianity. So we grew up as a Christianity in church, okay? So I have 2 sides of family. One practice old tradition, one goes to church, okay? So I'm actually going both, and I'm seeing the difference as growing up, and thinking in the beginning, I said, I don't want to do the old tradition. I don't like that. I want to go to tradition, which is actually Christian, which is actually going to church. So when I started it, it was very confusing to me as a child. As I got older into like maybe my middle school, I began to see things differently. And in middle school and high school, I keep having this dream. We will all go to church and everybody wear nice clothes, and we come out of church, and on the left side, my ancestor, my mom and my family was going on the left side, but my right side is my ancestor. He'd say, come with us, we would like to show you something. And I, as a kid, I said, is it candy? And they said, oh no, something much more than candy. And I said, how is something better than candy? And I said to my mom and my sibling, I said, I'll catch up later. And as I go with my ancestor on the right, they lead into this cornfield. And the cornfield was all laid in barrels, okay, 11 barrels. And I said, wow, that must be 11 barrels of just candy for me, you know? And no one's gonna touch these candy, right? So they lived all these barrels, the lid up, and my ancestor said, oh, so are you ready? I said, ready for what? Ready for us to pick you up. I said, for what? Well, you'll see. So they picked me up and they dunked me in 11 barrels of poop. I am soaked in poop, okay? I smell myself and I said, I don't like this, I don't like this. I thought it was candy, right? And it was not candy. So when they released me, I ran home and I cried to my mother, right? And so as I waking up from the dream itself, I smell myself to make sure I don't smell like poop. And so I went into my mom's bedroom, crawled in, and I said, Mom, please tell my ancestor to stop dunking me these barrels of poop. I don't like it. I don't want it, right? And my mother said, it's okay, my child. Remember, poop is money. I said, oh my God, Mom, how? I don't see it, Mom. I don't see the poop is money. I don't see it. And she said, one day, my child, you will see that poop is money. So as I go through high school and college, graduated from that, in the corporate world, I was in finance for years, and I had a near-death experience, okay? And the near-death experience is this. I was driving home, and I was stressed, very stressful. There's a lot of work at work, and I saw these orange barrels in front of me, and the orange barrel became a trigger of loads of project at work, okay? And I couldn't handle it anymore. It's so overwhelming. So it causes me to have a panic attack. And the panic attack feels like a heart attack. And I black out, and I swerve, and I hit all these orange cones, and my car flipped over. And it was on a ditch. As I was laying in the ditch, this big bright light came on. I thought it was coming from a headlight from a semi-truck. And I said, I'm dead. I'm done, you know. But the voice itself says, how many times are you gonna kill yourself with this job? If you don't change, you will die young. And I said, well, who's talking to me? And who are you? And the voice said, it is I, the creator of you. And I said, oh my gosh, God, did I die going to heaven? Oh no, I don't want to die young, God. I don't want to die young. Please, I beg you, I want to live. I want a second chance at life. I promise you, I will change. Please allow me to live. God said to me, I will allow you to live as long as you promise to change yourself. From there on, when I woke up from that, I was fine. Nothing hurt me. I had no cuts, no bruises, as though it was a lesson for me, a message for me from God. And I changed. I quit my job. And during that time, a girlfriend of mine from California came up for the summer, and I was actually living in Detroit, Michigan at the time. And she was the one that introduced me to colon hydrotherapy, okay? I did not know that colon hydrotherapy is a part of the dream itself about this money, okay? As I shifted and changed, my mom had an accident, and the accident was for many years to help take care of her. And the accident was also a lesson for me, is to be patient. All these virtues of patience, love, compassion, kindness, and forgiveness, it was because of her teaching through all this. And I became a better person myself. And when I said to my mother, when she asked me, how come I don't see you in the evening and weekend anymore? And I said, Mom, I don't know how to explain this to you. I would go to work and I would clean people out, and all these poop come out of them. And then after they're done, then they pay me money. And my mom said, remember, poop is money. And I said, oh my God, Mom, now I see the true vision of this. It was in the dream itself, it became reality. And so colon hydrotherapy is my specialty. And it's because my guides have led me to what I am today. And I'm so thankful and grateful for what God has put me through in my life, and it changes me overall. And I am so thankful that everybody's here to listen to all of us, to share our experiences. And I would say the spiritual awakening of me is when my mom passed away. Mom has been gone 14 years, okay? And my mother is very, very special to me. She's with me all the time. And my mother came up here in Minnesota and had an accident. And the accident took a toll on her. She was paralyzed from the waist down. And I took care of her because it was as though I need a lesson to be learned. And during that time, I thought to myself, my mom came back out of her coma to teach me a lesson. And I get it. And when she passed away, we buried her at the cemetery, her spirit followed me home. And her spirit impacted into my body. And I have never felt it like that before. And I was spinning in the living room, and she was saging me. She was just saging me and incensing me all over, okay? And now I believe that I'm actually in church, but now it's a total shift and change, okay? So as she was saging me and cleansing me, she said to me, now your spiritual journey begins. You're gonna be a great healer. Our ancestor, me, you're gonna live through this legacy. And I'm so proud of you to teach you this, because out of 9 children, you are the strongest one. You are the healer in our family. And I'm so honored and thankful for that.
This is a story time. Just let them tell their stories. It's wonderful. Go for it next.
Hi, thanks for being here, everybody. My name is Chandy, and I am feeling so emotional listening to everybody because their stories all resonate with me too. I have little bits and pieces from everybody's stories so far. I would say my spiritual journey started probably, I can recall as young as childhood, and I only learned this when I got older because I blocked it out as a child. And so I'm not going to go into too much details, but I remember when Nellie said that, Nellie dreamt of flying a lot. When I was very little, it's on me now, keeping up, the shape of food, I remember what even about the big one, keeping up, apartment, that's South Minneapolis. Very, very slummy, very ghetto, and go, there's a volleyball, I was so little, I used to dream of myself flying in that apartment up and down the stairs, and I would always be like Peter Pan, all up and down the apartment. At the same time, the apartment held very, very negative energy, and so women mainly know but was that, oh, when someone's in a game, trying to get kind of the cutscene in a game, they just think, oh, like, Gia, or they don't think anything too, because they're all brand new to America, they're just still learning. We were going to church, so I was growing up in the church too, but I didn't really understand what was going on. So fast forward, my teenage years, so yeah, I struggled with that in my life, and then into my 20s, then I started becoming very depressed, becoming very anxious, and I was becoming very suicidal. And I had attempted suicide a couple times, but it wasn't successful. And I thought to myself that, okay, finally I will seek help. But before I started seeking help, I was actually doing a lot of drugs, and I was doing a lot of drinking. I was doing a lot of partying, and I was doing a lot of things to try to hide myself. And so finally, when I decided to, the very, very first I told him that I tried to commit suicide once. Without knowing who I was, without listening to me, my story, and understanding my people and their struggles, or even my struggle, he was so quick to write me up a prescription. He gave me a prescription, and I was diagnosed with depression at 24. And I went home and I took that prescription because I thought he had the answers to me. I thought that if he gave me medicine, that this would cure me. And so I took that medication for a few months. Even though I knew that it was not helping me, I took it every day because I hoped that it would help me. But I continued to have experiences where I saw things or I heard things or things were happening in my room or my room. It was really funny because I was afraid of being in my room. Or things which go crazy. But I was just thinking, okay, maybe it could be my medicine doing this to me too. It was a combination really. And so after that then, I decided I'm not gonna take this anymore because I don't feel like it was helping me. It made me feel like a zombie. It really numbed me and it wasn't helping me at the core of who I was or how I was feeling. Thế nên cái gì này giờ chỉ tao bớt cho mà tao không cái này rồi, này giờ biết cầm nhỏ tao biết lần nữa này giờ biết chỉ tao cẩn cho thế nào, này giờ biết rồi chỉ tao rồi chúng ta share rồi cho hai đứa khi đứa nó sẽ lại cái khi đứa này giờ kind of like you deserve it because you're naughty, and so I actually had to venture on my own. I actually found a Reiki healer back then. It was probably early 2000s. She told me that she not gave me don't know Reiki because we're in 2024. But during that time, I had met a Reiki healer. She was also a yoga instructor, but she gave me Reiki, and she was able to help me to really release a lot of the baggage that I had. And so I found that this was helping me internally. And not only that, but I had slept so well after that. Anything like come near me. And so I felt like something in her helped me to raise my frequency. And I realized that after that, I was very intrigued by the healing arts. And so furthermore, I continued to drink though, okay? I continued to do my research, I continued to party, and I continued to just use alcohol and numb myself in other ways because I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready, and so I was still living a lifestyle that wasn't in alignment with who I wanted to become. Who I wanted to become was always a helper. By nature, I've always been a helper at heart. I've studied everything from psychology to counseling because I am by nature, I'm a helper. I love helping people. And so during this whole time, I was still struggling even with my mental health because now I got diagnosed with anxiety. I was having panic attacks at work and I couldn't understand why my heart was racing so much. I couldn't understand, how can I feel so healthy and party only on the weekends and thought that was okay. No, it's not okay at all, just I was living a life that was up and down, up and down, up and down. And I hid behind a lot of that. And then finally, when I got diagnosed with anxiety, they prescribed me medication again. I tried it just to see if it would help. I already knew it wasn't gonna help because at the core of my being, I've tried medication before and it didn't do anything for me. And so then finally, what really pushed me over the edge was my husband and I, we went through something very traumatic together and separately. My husband's sitting right here right now. I don't wanna blast his trauma, but we went through something together very, very traumatic that forced us to both quit drinking. And this was during COVID, right before COVID. And so we both quit drinking, and that's when I really felt like something happened in my body, in my spirit. I became clean, and it forced me to really start practicing my meditations and start listening to my higher self. And I'm not a shaman, okay? So I want to get that clear. I consider myself a light worker, and so I do energy healing, I do Reiki, I do energy healing and theta and tapping. So that's what I do. And so I started getting really, really into alignment with that, and I started learning it because I knew it helped me before. But then my point of this is I quit drinking. I didn't see any more therapists. I don't invest in money in them anymore. I started seeing holistic healing practitioners, And that really helped me on my journey because that was me, and at the core of my being, I felt like it helped me. And so I just continued it, and when I quit drinking, I'm 5 years sober now, then somehow it opened up. It just opened up this world inside of me where I felt like my third eye was open again, my chakras are open again. I felt like I was healthy inside and out, and I was able to manifest things that I wanted to put into place. It just came to me. I started trusting my guides more, I started connecting more, they started coming to me in my dreams more. And so I was able to connect to them, and I'm able to trust them now. They're able to trust me because one day I put it in the universe. I'm hearing this theme so much. I just said, I'm ready. I'm ready. Whatever it is you have to show me, like I'm ready now. And so I put that into the universe because I was fully sober and I was no longer hiding who I was. And then finally, that really triggered me to put myself out there and open my Reiki studio and start helping others. Because I saw that I was able to help myself through holistic healing. And when that helped me, I wanted to pay it forward. And so here I am, I want to share my story with you all and my vulnerability and my truth, just to let you know that this journey is not an easy journey, as you can tell. And this is exactly how it looks. It's up and down, and there's no right or wrong. And so I share it in transparency because I've been hiding so long behind it. And it gives me some power and some faith that if I share myself and put myself out there, then many of you will be able to not feel ashamed and not feel scared to put yourself out there as well. Thank you.
Appreciate you. You can hold up a little bit. Yeah, let's go to either Peng and Suzanne. Thank you.
Good morning, Neng Xiong. Buenos dias. Neng Xiong, my brain is thinking in all three languages, okay? First of all, where's all the mothers in the room? Mothers? Yes, give them a round of applause, please. Happy Mother's Day. Because my journey started with the birth of my 5th child. So I had a dream to have 10, I ended up with 5, which is good. The journey, gosh, I know we all have our own mother, pregnancy journey, okay? And the first one, when we become a mother and we're pregnant, we have a dream of the child, right? And sometimes, that's a little girl. And if you don't show us something else, then it's a boy, right? That's all, okay? Whatever. So I had those dreams of those first 4 children, and they all were born beautiful, healthy. I took care of them with breast milk for 2 years each. So don't blame me if you didn't get well today, is what I tell the kids, because I gave you the best help. So my 5th child, it started, she was born May 28th in 2008. And I came up here to Minnesota in 2006 because my mom was very, very sick. High blood pressure, diabetes, I had a stroke and became paralyzed in the right. And she was at a care facility, came and brought the kids to come and see her, the grandkids to see her on Christmas Day, and we never left. So we came to Minnesota in 2006 in the middle of winter, February 2nd, and we learned how to, drive in the snow from Fresno, California. And so then took care of Mom. She was very ill, and I was always been in tune with being healthy, eating good stuff. And so as a former school teacher and just in general, I wanted to stay healthy. And so then therefore I took care of Mom, and then doctor said take her home and watch her die, and then I took her home. And again, you girls, you're not supposed to take the mama home, right? Because the brother says, what are you gonna do with Mama when she passed? I said, bro, just dig a hole and bury her in the backyard. right? So that's where I position because of my love for mom. So mom came home, I healed her in a month with nutrition, she became well, and we had a beautiful year with her, and then she, it helped her pass because she was happy, she had a beautiful family reunion. All of that to say, preface is that tell you the day of my spiritual, awakening or journey is with my baby girl, my Callie. We buried Mama, on Monday, January 3rd, and I came home on Tuesday and trying to exercise, and here I found a lump in my abdomen. I'll take a baby versus cancer, uterine cancer. So I found out, and then she was a baby, and I was like, great, now how far along am I? 4 months, and I didn't even know that baby that was inside me. Of course, I was very occupied taking care of mom. And all of this birthing experience I'm sharing with you because it came, and this is for 16 years of life with this baby girl, Callie, now. And I'll get into detail a little bit. But what do you do when you don't even know that child for 4 months inside you as a mother, right? Of course, if you ever thought of abortion, that's not an option, right? But I always welcome my baby because they're my blessings. So she became beautiful, we birthed, everything was perfect, until after 18 months old, we had our 5 vaccines shots. So I know my story is going to be controversial here in a lot of whatever ways, but I just want you to pay attention to what's going on, do your research, and make a decision, okay? And all that I'm going to be sharing, that's what's going to be about. And so my daughter, in hindsight now, okay, all the testing, everything, it all came down to the vaccine changing her body chemistry, the liver and the pancreas that controls the sugar. And all my smart people, smarter than me, double degrees, whatever, okay, all the medical professions. So all of that journey in the middle of the night, May 5th, 2010. In the middle of the night, she woke up, she wanted milk, we went to the fridge, we got milk. I was grabbing her milk, she was next to me, and she had a yell, ah! And collapsed. That's the first seizure that lasted, it's a cluster, and then just kept going and going and going. That seizure for 16 minutes until she started to turn blue. And while we were waiting for paramedics, obviously it's like, oh, she's not dying. And that was my first episode of seizure. So anybody here, I hope you will, those who've experienced a seizure, it's not fun. Those who haven't, don't be scared, but be brave and help the person. But that's my first episode of seizure. Now, how where does the spiritual aspect comes into play, right? I'm a very articulate, smart woman, and so I want things done, I want to get it done now. And so Hmong culture wait a minute, now, what do you do? Well then, honey, I go to my husband, I said, honey, we gotta do something. Because we hear all of this, stories, the spirit catches you, fall down. Oh, now you're cursed. Okay, you're taboo, you're no good. So what do you do now? It's like the minute relatives know they go to me, oh my gosh, you are a bad gene. Okay, whatever, right? Then there goes all of this stuff, and then my husband and back to what you're saying, new in terms of this organization, we were so lost. We were in our late 30s. I was 38. He was 41 there, and like, honey, who are we gonna turn to? Well, then the uncle in the Wu clan is the only one we know that's a shaman. So you've got a Hmong culture, actually in your clan, then you go to your closest relative. Well, if he's the shaman, then we go ask him. Well, honey, you gotta go ask him. And my husband was like, what am I supposed to do? How am I gonna ask? Why? So I don't know. I need to just go see him and say, uncle, this is my situation, come and help, right? And so he did that, and he was, again, not trained. And uncle came, did the ritual, and then bang. And I thought, I have no clue what side first and then what call second. I have no idea. I'm just like, fix it. This is a problem. Fix it, right? And so I thought the first round, okay, let's bang that one. Okay, can't do the PM. Pay 2 weeks, 3 months. If she's healed, she has no seizures, great, amen. I thought, oh, that's easy. 3 months came, a 3 week day came, she was fine. 3 weeks came, she's getting better. 3 months, hey, we made it 3 months, right? It's a quarter, no seizures. And then, wait, the doctor gave the, medication, Capra, and it just kept, she's still having seizures. But then I didn't understand what all of this meant. Anyway, my story is going to be a little long, but this is so important because it encompasses all of this panels, all of the special healers here. And so I am a multi-faceted, mama in a house today in terms of my peace. Okay, and so therefore I kept looking for answers. She kept having seizures, and then I thought it was supposed to be well too, but no. And then my girlfriend introduced me to, you should see my naturopathic doctor. So I saw the naturopathic doctor up in Champlin. I said, Dr. Briss, she's got seizures, here's the brain problem. And Dr. Briss says, no, you gotta fix the liver. I'm like, how is the liver related to the brain? It's a brain problem. Hey, so you gotta detox the liver. Well, as a mom, I was desperate, so I didn't care. I said, okay, tell me what to do. She's barely 2 years old, and Dr. Briss gave me a list of herbal stuff, and like every hour drops, every hour, different supplements. I'm like, dang, how am I gonna, give her every hour, right? This herbal stuff, that's what you do. And you don't say like an adult that's like, open your mouth. No, it's like, talk, right? I mean, my gosh, she hates me for that. And I had to force it in. When we did that for a whole year, we got 2 years of no seizures. I thought I was home free. And then when she relapsed in February of 2014, Uncle, what happened? And then Uncle says, well, you didn't follow my instruction. Again, after Lowanana, they tell the men, they don't tell the woman, but the woman takes the action, right? Okay, so the men just happy the baby is good, and so the men don't tell me. Okay, I said, well, honey, where's the message? Uncle said, honey, was that the message? And he said, yeah, I guess. No, and relax. And so now it's harder, right? And it's hell because every day she's dealing with 5, 10, 20 seizures a day in 2014. And then just kept getting harder and cluster and harder and harder. And I'm like, spiritually, you have to, cure the karma or whatever, right? But you call me out. I don't know. So part of your organization, please train all the young men or household and the woman too. And make it to please talk to the woman too. Don't just like tell the woman. They give the recommendation after to the men or the man, but it's not the man, So please include that, okay? And so anyway, we went through hell. She landed in the ER in 2014, and when the body is seizing endlessly, and it's just not recovering, and it's hard, they had to put her into a coma. After the 7-day coma medication, you can't leave the body in it. While she's still in the coma, her brain machine was seizing endlessly still. They say you're supposed to reset the brain, and it did reset the brain. It's still on fire. So you can't leave the body in that state, and you can't wake up the body seizing. We decided to start disconnection of the life support. And I had to go to Sears to buy the little white dress. So my little angel will be in the dress. I came back and, Dr. Brisk called. Maybe we could overload her brain with magnesium to reduce the swelling in the brain. And that gave me a little 1% of hope. And so we started to have the medical profession work with us, and we got the team working, and we started to treat the body with, supplements. And Dr. Brisk came and visited us, and he touched her left lung lobe here, node, and he said to the nurse, she is having she has a lung infection, right? And through all the lab tests, he didn't know that, but he touched it. He said that, and the nurse confirmed yes. So his healing power with his hand was just phenomenal. But all of that, we landed in the hospital with the coma, came out of the coma. After 58 days, she became a mashed potato. No function. Her right side paralyzed. Her brain can't talk, can't eat, can't pee, can't poop. Lots of love, everything I've done. I'm a desperate mama. I want a healing body, a healthy baby. And I'll do anything for my baby. Right, mamas, right? Okay? I will go to the moon, I will die in your place. And I've done that for her, financially, spiritually, emotionally. You talk about it, everything, every aspect. And so, therefore, we slowly heal her back. And now, obviously, Hmong culture, nobody wants to see you. Your cousin, your parents, your siblings, brothers, sisters, whatever, friends, because now you are a bad case of curse, karma. Okay? And then each family will because you hide them in the closet, you don't talk about it. Okay? And I'm sure, how many of us know people who have seizures, right? We know. It's 1 in 3 people. That is how high this condition is. But in our culture, it's a taboo. We don't talk about it. Okay? And so therefore, through all the healings now, 14 and a half years, so in 2022, I kept looking. I'm a gardener, I'm gonna plant, herbs, I'm gonna heal the body. And I met a stranger at the bookstore, and he said, if you're a gardener, you're trying to heal seizure, you need to learn about RBTI with Dr. Kerry Reeves. He's an agronomist, he studied the soil, he studied the plant, he studied the body, and he learned how, and he fixed the body with food. And all disease is a deficiency of a mineral. And I'm like, I read his book, and all of you look it up and read it. His book is called Choose Life or Death. And I read that, and I kept pursuing it, and then I was like, I hired a local grandma here in town to coach me, and I started to heal her body through foods. I test her saliva and her urine every day, and I know what to give her the next meal to bring the body chemistry into healing zone. So with 28 months of practice now, her seizures has been over 30 a day to 5 or less. And because I've seen her body chemistry change and come into the healing zone. And so with this here, I learned I encounter people with energy healing, okay? All sorts of healing, shaman of all walks of life and all types, Buddhist, whatever, Hmong, Christianity. I changed, my religion 20,000 times, you know what I mean? Right? Gone to church, dumped the ancestral, altar, and then put it back, every day you switch between 1 or 2, right? Whatever you believe. I mean, I've been through all the spiritual walks of life in so many aspects. And I respect that because she's starting to tell me things. She tells me stories, and so I respect that as a parent because I'm listening to her. And so therefore, I'm like, maybe there's a hope in that. But then I sat at the altar and said it all wrong, and oh my gosh, and then finally yesterday I was not here because I finally found the shaman that gave us the hope and the truth of her journey. And I was home yesterday getting rid of her altar Because we did it all backward, all wrong, and there's no guidance. Whatever. Oh my gosh, guys. I mean, I went through hell and back, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and physically. Really. And so that's our story, and it's just so, I want to encourage you now, doing my work in RBTI as a certified biochemistry analyst. I got my certification through the International Institute of Original Medicine. And so therefore, when I test the body chemistry, I do the saliva and the urine, and I know what's going on in the body. I prevented a major stroke or heart attack already for a 74-year-old man. And my baby girl is healing, and all, I have an office or a home village now, and all different, my different patients that come, the body element, yes, they go, big culture, but then they can't help, and you find medicine, and that cannot help, then they came to me, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have energy, It's like, oh, I got manpower, right? Okay. So anyway, and then then they don't need to go find zinang. Zinang is right here in your body. In the body means your mouth. That means you gotta heal it through foods too. So don't forget the spiritual side. So I did a lot of cleansing and healing through the spiritual, and now I'm responsible for the physical, and the body, combine the two. That's why we're having the healing power. So anyway, there's more conversation. I have a booth. Let's have more conversation. But thank you for letting me share.
Last story, and love how all of you are alluding to past and present. And so we'll give it to Pink to talk about past and present, and then we'll go right into future as to what's happening and what to look forward to each of these practitioners. And we can open up for Q&A, right? Go for it, Pink.
What's the question?
Yeah, the question is how did you know when the spiritual journey started? Like, what happened? And what did you wish you knew when you were starting your journey? And then what's happening now? How did you get to where you are today?
Okay. Well, first of all, I just wanted to thank you. That's great. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because one of the things that when we talk about spiritual awakening, a lot of the spiritual awakening is not because, a lot of our spiritual awakening, the reason why it's uncomfortable is because the food you're eating is not clean, you're exercising not, you're not exercising, you're not meditating, you're not praying, you don't have practices in place to keep you pure enough to where the soul can enter the body. The soul is a very high frequency being. And so if you are here to do healing of some sorts, which we are all here on a spiritual awakening journey. Everybody here is on a spiritual awakening journey. I don't care who you are. What religion you believe in, doesn't matter if you're Buddhist, Shaman, doesn't matter. Everybody is here on a spiritual awakening journey. The reason why we're having intense, traumatic spiritual awakenings is because of the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, all the toxins and everything. Our cleaning products, our hygiene products, toxins and everything. Our vaccines, let's just say, I'll be controversial too. There are toxins in everything that's all around us. And because we are reaching a state where more young people are beginning to wake up, because the frequency of the planet is beginning to raise right now, we're already in it. And so as the frequency is beginning to raise, your higher soul, your soul is beginning to try to enter your body. If your body is dirty and not purified, and you don't practice forgiveness, you don't let things go, you don't work on yourself, you don't try to become better, then you will be crushed by all of the darkness that you're putting into your body. The things you eat, the air you breathe, the thoughts that you have, the lack of forgiveness, the anger, the resentment, all of these things. This is why you're having difficult spiritual awakening processes, okay? Because I think my story is not that important. I think what I have to say is more important, because what story matters not much. I think that what I have to say is more important because it affects you directly. Okay? If you want to ask me my story, we can do it another time. I think that to be more effective. Look, what's happening is that we are eating pesticides in our foods. Our fruit, our vegetables, we're eating poisons every day. And then how do you not function? How do you function optimally? Because the spirit is a higher frequency. But when there's poisons inside the body, the spirit can't access. So then now you have all kinds of problems, right? So then now, because you have these lower frequencies within you, negative emotions, toxins in our food, unhealed traumas, all of these things, then what happens? Right? Then you attract all the pain. No huge energy, yeah. Right? For myself, for as long as I can remember, that's how I say it. Fatty said on me, you know? But, so that you say on me all the time. So the thing is, I recognize that within me, I had to start making changes. And so the moment I started making changes, getting rid of alcohol, getting rid of processed foods, starting to exercise more, start to breathe right, start to do more meditation, start to do more prayers, start practicing forgiveness, start practicing kindness, start practicing compassion, and helping everybody out as much as I can. Right? Then you're putting out more good things. And also through detoxification. Right? And so when you're doing these things, the reason why the young people today are struggling is because you guys are eating crap and you're drinking beer. And then they go, oh, duh, dude. Look at yourself. Real. It's out of love. Look, just like, look, if you keep eating these things, that's what's causing the problems. And so if you are on your spiritual journey, if you are having a spiritual awakening, it's because the first thing that's trying to kill you is the foods that you eat. You must educate yourself on food, nutrition, right? I'll just give my free stuff right now. Sugar, okay? Sugar, dairy, alcohol, gluten, processed foods, anything that comes out of a wrapper, comes out of a box, avoid those things. All you eat, do the best you can to eat. Fruits, vegetables, shoot for organic. Eat meat. Don't eat pork. Okay? If you are on a spiritual awakening, don't eat pork. The animal, unless that pork is raised in nature. Right? Shoot for grass-fed beef. Eat regenerative chickens from regeneratively raised farms. Eat animals that are go hunt, get deer. This is what's keeping us blocked. I'm just going to say it like this. There are forces in play that are trying to prevent you from waking up. Amen, yes. Okay. No, if you hear me, then there are forces in play that are trying to prevent you from waking up. I'm here to help wake you up. There are lots of things trying to prevent you from embodying the light. You came here to bring the light. You came here to transform the darkness within you into light. We start with food. Start with discipline. If you can't temper your stomach, you're no use to the light. You can't temper your anger, your rage, your fear, your resentment. You are no good to the light. You are being used by the unconscious forces around us. There are lots of things in play. And when we look at it from this perspective, there are tools and more resources in play than we ever had before. At the same time, there are other forces that are working very hard to prevent you from seeing the light, becoming the light. You can buy crystals all day. You can buy crystals all day, you can pray and chant all day. You don't hit the gym, you don't eat right, good luck. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. This is coming out of love, okay? I'm pretty sure that these people have seen there are visions. If you are already tapped in, you've been having visions and dreams of the things that are to come. There are big things coming. There are very big things coming. You must prepare. Get ready. Okay? So for myself, spiritual awakening to me doesn't happen at one time. Spiritual awakening happens at different stages in your life. They will come from 3 pillars. Okay? These are my downloads. It's in my talk. Hit me up, I'll send you my talk. Okay? I did a talk called The Soul's Path to Healing. I explained everything as to why we're here, what we're doing here, what's the plan, what is the soul here to do, what is the soul here to achieve. The purpose of life is character development. The purpose of life is character development. You're here to grow, to become the best version of yourself. The purpose of life is character development. There are 3 pillars that the universe or God or do chops at away or chisels away in order to instigate you to grow or to change. Our finances, our health, and our relationships. When one of these 3 crumbles, one of these pillars is being crumbling, it's because you're not working with it. There will always be one of these 3 pillars. These 3 pillars, one will always be just like 3 little pigs. One will be made of straw, one will be made of sticks, one will be made of bricks. And when you start to see, when you begin to see around you, we're being tested all the time. Right? All the patterns you're repeating over and over and over and over. You're just relearning the same lesson. It's just coming from a different person. Same lesson, different person. We're repeating the cycles over and over. That's why it's called reincarnation. That's why we have to come back and do this all over again and over and again and over again. Right? So spiritual awakening to me happens in different stages. If you sit idly, you're failing. You have to observe yourself. Every single thought and emotion that comes to the mind, every emotion that you have, every inkling that you drive, pay attention. This is why meditation is important. But you can't hear these things because if you're eating garbage, it's poisoning your mind and poisoning your body. You can't hear anything. You hear nothing. But when the body is pure, man, they're gonna put you to use. They're gonna put you to use. Because we're here to create light. We're here to put heaven on earth. So until you purify the body, and it takes discipline, it takes time, a tremendous amount of discipline, a tremendous amount of time. And believe it or not, when people look at me, they're like, besides my Hello Kitty shirt.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I know. No, my girls love it. So I was 40 pounds heavier. I got pictures to prove it. In order for that transition to happen, it takes discipline. Every single day, I have to choose. Do Big Mac, Big Mac, double Big Mac, or something else. And then you have to learn to figure out what you're eating. Because what you're eating is feeding your body, it's feeding your mind, it's feeding your spirit. If it's poison, what you're eating is poisoning your body, poisoning your mind, poisoning your spirit. Okay? 这个多运动吃 cool. Yo, we can't fix what you're putting in your mouth. Yeah, and holistic health and healing requires you to really level up. If you are on your path to spiritual awakening, wake up, stop sleeping, look around. It doesn't have to do anything with crystals and incense, and making prayers and offerings and offering all the things. No, it's about what are you putting in your mouth? What are you putting on your skin? What are you putting in your hair? What are you putting in your laundry? What are you washing your dishes with? All these things, we're constantly being poisoned and bombarded. What are you drinking? All of these things which are designed to numb us so we can't hear. Are you guys listening? Okay? My story is not that important. If you hear what I have to say, I think you have an idea of what I've been through. It's not easy to get here. So Everybody's journey is unique to them. Your spiritual awakening journey will happen through the 3 pillars: finances, health, relationships. Okay? And just like, I'm sorry, go ahead. Suzanne's story, that's a spiritual awakening journey. Man, talks it all. Yeah. Oh. It forced her to go on to a spiritual awakening journey. It forced her to learn all these things. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'll teach my daughter, I'll do whatever. And that's the determination, the level of determination you must have in order to bring light into earth. In order to transform the darkness into light, you must educate yourself and then stick to it. Okay? So for me, that's the past, the present. I think that for myself, I guess I'll go a little bit personal. For me, for myself, I think that when we look at the spiritual awakening journey, I don't want Jada Donghuo, who's been asking me these questions, they separate it as if spiritual has nothing to do with the health. Spiritual has nothing to do with the body. Spirit is just spirit. No, wrong. This body captures the spirit. Somehow the finite body can capture the infinite. You're trying to study the ocean when you can just study the drop in the ocean. That's all you need. There's vast amounts of unlocked information and wisdom within our genetic code that's been passed down for thousands upon thousands of years. You hone this body, you hone this mind, you sharpen the spirit. If you don't do it, you're sleepwalking. Stop sleepwalking. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm fully awake. I still see aspects of myself that are still sleepwalking. And I'm working very hard to wake all these aspects of myself up. I get up, go to the gym. Did you sound go to the gym, dude? You know? But then afterwards I take pictures in the mirror like, look at this. I'm a profile. But there has to be a level of determination and consistency that you must play out. And you have to understand that the unconscious forces are just as relentless, so you have to be way more relentless. Hmong, I think you understand what I'm talking about. Right. So that's all I have to say. Sorry, Cha Sha.
Wow, we've been talking for the last hour or so. That's great. We have about 30 minutes left. I just want to go down the line here. You all alluded past and present, what they're doing. I want you all to talk about future. Like what now? We've heard your story. What do you see yourself doing in the next 2-3 years? Like what can we expect from you? So that way our audience know, okay, this is what's happening now. Like what do you see yourself doing? So we'll go down the line, maybe like 3 sentences, and then we'll open up for Q&A. And then if you have more questions, feel free to connect with our practitioners this afternoon. They'll be sticking around. So yes, let's go down with, let's go with Kevin. Like, what can we expect from you? Future.
Okay. So the future for me, the next couple years, what you can expect from me is continuing to develop my skills as a practitioner, continue to develop my skills as a pranic healer, energy healer, sound healer, to better serve all of you who need assistance in that way. Developing, like, pranic healing is kind of this super umbrella thing of like more than just energy healing. It's also looking at like, okay, like what does your exercise look like? What does your body look like? What does your fitness levels look like? How does diet look? What about your mental health? Things like that, and really recognizing that all of these things, these habits, these patterns, is just energy, and we can use energy to release those things. And I personally believe that in order to create sustainable habits, it's important to start simple and small and easy, and then go from there. Because if you try to make this giant leap, you're gonna jump and then probably not make it all the way. And then a lot of times if you don't make it, or if you keep trying to make these big leaps, then you create this negative self-talk loop of like, wow, I didn't make it, what's happening? And just beat yourself up. And this happened to me, honestly. And really it's just going from there. It's just like, how can we just make simple, small, easy changes to continually move yourself up into this place of well-being. So.
Can I add to that too, Kevin? Have someone to guide you along the way as well. Someone, whether it's a mentor or a friend who you resonate with, because you gotta have a support team to hold you accountable as well. You can't do this alone, but it's gonna be a lonely road. So thank you, Kevin. Have a team of supporters. And these are my team of supporters in their own little ways.
Here to help. Thank you.
Well, I've been practicing cold hydrotherapy for 16 years, so I will continue to cleanse the body. So fasting, cleansing, and get rid of the detox in the body is a way of life. Being spiritually myself, and those who are actually spiritual awakening, cleanse your body. Cold hydrotherapy is a natural way of cleansing of water and air. You know, we both need that. So I'm not gonna retire young yet. I'm trying to, but not yet. My clientele are kind of large from out of state, different places, near and far, and very, very stability and grounded and discipline. And but doing the work, it takes perseverance, consistency, and commitment. You have to commit what you love. And I love what I do. And I'm so glad and thankful that God, my ancestor, my mom, and is actually putting me in this direction about cleansing the body. We have to cleanse. Everything that you eat and drink, we have to cleanse. Otherwise, the toxins just ferment and brew in the body. And of course, a lot of people have brain fog, fatigue, gas and bloating, constipation. All of that revolves in the gut. And the gut is the second brain to our first brain. So, you know, if you continue to eat and drink and party, you have to cleanse. Because otherwise your body's gonna age and grow old and certain things are gonna affect you and you're gonna have a lot of aches in your body. So if you cleanse, you're gonna feel better, you know. So if you resonate with cleansing, come to see me.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of what they've said already, for myself, I see myself extending myself out to other services, healing services, as far as like learning other energy modalities and just trying to better myself. And I'm myself am on a gut healing journey, and so I share a lot of recipes with my followers. I try to eat clean and I share those recipes. If you're a Facebook friend of mine, feel free to find me, Healing Haven or Healing Haven in Wellness. And also just to continue to live a sober-free life. It's been 5 years now, so I want to continue that sobriety. If you or anybody in here wants to connect about that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always looking for sober people to connect to because it is a lonely journey. The first people you lose are your friends and your family, okay? So put that out there now. If you want to become sober, your friends and your family, say goodbye now, okay? That's the hardest part of the journey. That is also another awakening too, okay? It comes in ebbs and flows. So all of this has been a awakening upon awakening for me. The gut healing journey, the hair journey, the eating clean journey, exercising, all of that, sobriety, all of that is all an awakening. And so along the lines of all of this, I create spaces for people to come together. We are also a part of a collective here. I've worked with each one of these people and now Susan in tandem, and so it becomes a small community. So when you guys all are out there in the field, I just want to offer a word of advice that Don't bend down, you know, okay? Because it's a small community, so you never want to wrong anybody. Okay, please be discerning. And I say this from a place of love, is because me, I'm very naive. Okay, so when I was younger, I did not use discerning very well, and I had to learn because that was a part of my journey. And so just moving forward, I'd like to just throw that out there just because we're all going to be working together someday in some capacity. So just remember the faces you see in here and remember us, because eventually we're going to come, and work together eventually one day if you continue this path, okay? And along the lines of that, I may even hold a retreat with one of you one day. So we are a part of Tang, she's right over there, and we are a part of the Hmong Healers Collective, and we also put on retreats. Next week, Nancy and I are putting on a women's retreat, Whispers, with Neng and so for future, we plan to put on a lot of retreats. It could be in the capacity of both men and women, or it could be with just women only. It just depends. We just don't really know what it's looking like yet. But it's for the community, for the people, and we are all mostly Hmong here. And so okay? So we want to pass that love and community back out to everybody here.
Thank you, Shani. And Kaiser Xiong's going to be leading us a solo breathwork session later on, 3:45 p.m. And so if you're interested in that retreat, come and chat with Chandy or talk with Kaiser later on.
What I want to encourage everyone to realize with that book, Dr. Rings wrote it, Choose Life or Death, is literally with every bite that we intake or every drink of fluids. So when I read that book, it is so true. I have family members who the first thing we need to heal our body with is distilled water. Distilled water, through that heating process, is energy added to it. So all of our, whatever, purified bottled waters and so on, and the tap water, I have water samples for you to look at my booth next door. When you look at I boiled a gallon and boil it down to a few ounces. That will tell you what's left behind and what's in that water source. Be it purified, spring water, your tap water, okay? And distilled water is the most pure. And for you to have this enlightenment and spiritual awakening in your journey of healing, as we all share different aspects of it, it starts with pure water. And so I'm drinking distilled water, and we don't know how to drink water. And that means not that we're all stupid, no. We were never taught how to drink water except maybe 8 glasses of water per day. I'm a gardener. If we understand flash flood, right? You water the plant with a bucket. Everything else, the plants only can soak up so much. This plant, your body, can only soak up so much. You can't just drink a 20-ounce one, at once. We need to drink it so the recipe for water, people tell us you need to drink a gallon, you need to drink a lot. How much is a lot? If the body weighs 200 pounds, divided by 2, that's 100 ounces of water that body needs for the day. Not more than 100 ounce, not less than 100 ounce. The less you drink from that 100 ounce, the more chances you will build up toxin inside and have cancer. Water flushes out dead cells. In my body chemistry lab, I will tell you what's going on with your liver, your heart, your kidneys, how all the chemistry, all the chemical is impacting the body's functions, the body organs. And so therefore starts with water. And you measure 100 ounces for the day in this example, and you start drinking the minute you get up 4 ounces every 30 minutes. As you're seeing me here sipping my water, I'm not sucking the whole bottle. It's 4 ounces, which is 4 big gulps, okay? And that's the first thing you can start doing right now, okay? And so water is life. start with that. And yes, it took us 28 months to diligently feed the body. And my daughter had that result. I was pre-diabetic and I'm losing my weight too. I had a little extra spare tire of 15 pounds around and I'm losing it because my liver and pancreas is becoming better and restored. And all of the spiritual and health problems with what Shandy is talking about in terms of mental illness, it all relates to sugar level in your body. Okay? And sugar, salt, water, oil, those 4 types of chemical that we input in our mouth to our body will determine our state of mind. So mental illness, Dr. Reams, cured it with food. You've got gout, ulcer, cancer, anything in the body is all because we don't have the right proper minerals and vitamins input. And through my work here, I can tell the body, the person, specifically what mineral is lacking, what vitamin is needed. And when I was starting this here, I didn't know that yes, I know vitamin C and D are good, but I didn't know that you don't take both at the same time. Because if you have too much C, then you don't have enough D. If you have too much D, then you don't take D, you take C. So through my practice of work, I will help and guide you specifically what type of food and minerals and vitamins to take, to eat, so that you could heal this body from pain and suffering. And the colon, I had my experience with Sister Maria here. Everyone needs it. She couldn't do it for my baby girl because of her medical condition, and I'm doing that at home. But because all of us here, if we're just, pretty much a normal body that don't have a severe medical condition, clean the toxins out. Don't be surprised when you have colon cancer, because it's been sitting there for years. And so her work, me seeing my poop going through, it's like, oh, it helps you visualize to see what's going on internally. And if you see it, then you won't put it in your mouth. So I just want to plug that in because I had my experience with her and it's so powerful. And I want energy. I feel 21 today. I know I'm not 21, okay? But I feel 21. So I just wanted to share that with, that my work, I have my office in Hmong Village. I do blood sugar tests for free, or you could just have free conversation with me. If you're not willing to commit and dedicate to fix your body, then eat anything, everything, Diane will be happy. Seriously.
Pretty much.
So.
Wow, okay, I want you guys to share a lot about healthy, right, nutrition. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you for Chanley, and Maria Green. I went to see Maria Green too for colon cleansing, and it does help me a lot. And I appreciate that. You guys that have never tried that, you should try it, and help you a lot. I took my brother and my sister and love it too, so. And I just want to say thank you for Chandy to, 我的梦海有科技的有点好样, okay, meaning you cannot scratch your back. So it doesn't matter if you are a healer or you are a shaman or you are a practitioner, you are capable, whatever you are. But somehow there's a time of life you cannot scratch your back. You cannot heal yourself in a certain way, okay? You hear so many people, but sometimes yourself, you need someone else to mentor you. You need someone else to heal you, to give you advice. Hey, you should do that, you should do that. And I'm very grateful that I took that decision to go see Chandy. And yeah, so it does help me a lot. In life, we always have something stuck in life. It could be family, relationship, it could be work, anything. And there's a time that you just stop, you just don't know what you're supposed to do. And energy healing or Reiki healing, it does help. It just release those bad thoughts or bad energy or whatever it's not, it's negative in your body, just let it out. And I went to see her, and when I let whatever is my body and my thoughts out, it's so weird. It made me cry. And when you cry, it's like you emotional, or you sad and you cry, right? But when she does that to me, it's like everything is bad, like in my thought, or everything that happened to me in my experience just come out of my body and through my tears. And I just want to share that to you guys that initial healing, Reiki healing, or whatever healing it is, it does help our body. Okay. And second, I just want to say thank you for Susanna and Payne, talk about nutrition, and Kevin too. I totally agree with all of you guys. Thank you so much for all the information. Sometimes we kind of procrastinated. We know exactly what we're supposed to eat. We know what we're not supposed to eat. But sometimes we just, I just want to eat it. Like today I'm craving for ice cream. I just want to eat ice cream. I'm craving for a Big Mac and just eat it. And after you put that food in your body, you say, oh man, why do I put that food in my body? I don't feel good. I feel healthy. And I come back to that. Thank you for all the information that all of us, healers, shaman, or even awakening shaman, we need to change our habit. We need to change our nutrition, how we see food, how we put it in our body. And I agree with that. And this panel is, it's not only for all you guys, it's for all of us. We all learning from each other, and it's a wonderful thing to do, right? And I will go more to the gym, okay? So more exercise and take care of myself, nutrition, change my nutrition. And thank you so much for Payne. And I feel your energy. You're so like, oh my gosh. So tense energy, some tension over there. I feel it. And I remember this one day that we did, one time that we did it, I was next to Nancy. Oh my gosh, both of us was shaking. She was shaking, I was shaking. We said, what's going on, Nancy? Why you were shaking? I'm shaking too. So it's like our energy is so strong, right? That's good. And I just want to share a little bit about the future, the present and future. So I'm a shaman master, which is I am master for awakening student or awakening new shaman. Sometimes I just think to myself, why do I do this? Why I become a master? Why do I initiate disciple? Why do I initiate student? Sometimes I just say, oh, I don't want to do that job. Okay, it's too complicated. It's a lot of challenge. It's a big challenge as a teacher or as a master when you initiate new student. You have so good, but so challenging. Okay, and sometimes I just think to myself, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a master. I don't want to be, a shaman master. I don't want to initiate new disciple because it's too complicated. But you know what? My spiritual guide said, no, you can't. That's part of you. That's your job. That's your duty. That's your purpose in the earth. That's how you do it. Nobody do your job except you. Okay? Somebody can do it, but maybe they have better connection. So I'm not going to tell about my good and bad experience because we run out of time. But I just want to say that for future, this is what I will continue to do it based on my spiritual guides are guiding me or what I'm supposed to do in life. And another thing about Visionary Luminous, I am very grateful that introduced me to this. What is that? Yeah. And I'm very glad, I'm very happy from 7-2, we all connect together. We all work together for healing, like to help people. And for future, hopefully one day, we have a center of healing, we heal everybody, okay? It could be with all of us, okay? Not only shaman, but with Reiki healing, with energy healing, with food, with nutrition, with everything is part of the healing, okay? And hopefully one day we will have a center and just give, just give the service to all people. I know that, we don't have a lot of people. When people heard about, shaman or healing or stuff like that, Hmong people, they don't really support that 100%. Are you agree with me? It's like, something weird. But they say, let's go party, and then we have full house, right? And it's okay. It's okay. I would say it's something new. It's something new for all of us, for our young generation. Get used to it. And it takes time. It will take time to educate people, and all of us and all of you guys, we will educate people about healing journey. And hopefully in a couple of years, hopefully next year, we're gonna have a full house, okay? And more and more healers coming on board, more and more panelists, and so you can share more of your experience to everyone. We've got our learning together, all right? So that's it, just wanna share that. Thank you so much.
All right, Ping has the last word, and then Q&A. Make it quick, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I guess there's one thing I want to share before. Okay, so for those of you guys who are beginning to access your spiritual awakening journey, I'm gonna say it like this: I don't have an altar. Okay, I don't have an altar. So there's a reason why because I couldn't find anybody that would. Altars, here's my understanding, okay? Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But anytime somebody sets up an altar for you, then there are certain beings that are attached to those altars. There are hidden contracts that are in play. And so your altar, so your shaman has to explain to you, the person who's initiating you has to explain to you exactly the full details and description of all these unseen contracts that you're setting yourself up to. Because there are altars in play. You don't know what you're signing up for. So make sure that you ask your shamans these questions. Make sure if you're going to raise an altar, make sure you understand all of the hidden contracts that are being in play, and ask me questions. If it doesn't feel right, walk away. And not everybody being given, just because you're going on a spiritual awakening journey, you don't need an altar. I'm going to say that from my perspective. That's cool. Yo, I know Kung Fu. So, but the thing is, this is the thing that I want to warn younger people about, because right now you guys have no idea what you're signing up for. So make sure you study, you ask your questions. Don't just raise an altar just for willy-nilly because somebody said so. There are things that are in play, there are hidden contracts in play, there are other beings that come from lower realms that are in play when you sign up and put these altars up. I'll set these altars up. So pay attention, okay? And then the thing is, because you're the new age, the new wave of, if you're the new wave of shamans and healers, then there are different beings that are trying to attach to you. If you attach to these lower other things that come to Dharma, then those things will inhibit your ability to access your true gifts. Okay? So, for me, I just breathe. Okay? Qigong is what I do. That's it. That's what I pray to. That's it. Okay? And then you eat well, and then that way you're in alignment, you're in attunement, and then you can receive. If you do it this way, that's fine. And what I do, I'm an acupuncturist, so I do acupuncture. I treat all kinds of disorders, anything, everything. And depending on what it is that you have, if it's more complicated cases, just don't come see me unless you're willing to make changes to your diet. You're just gonna waste your time and your money. But if you are experiencing something that is more spiritual in nature, if it is truly something of a spiritual nature, hit me up. Acupuncture can open up the pathways and release these things as well. Because there are certain things within the energetic or the spiritual realm that they attach to the physical body through the energetics of the body. When you access the channels, open up the pathways, pushes these things out. Okay? You know, that kind of some sort of like exorcism, but then the thing is, so there are different ways, there are different things that have been practiced in Chinese medicine for thousands of years that they treat the spirit. So it's not just for back pain, it's not just for this, for that. It does it. Just that we do address the spiritual related issues as well. And then the big thing is, I can't stress it enough, your depression, your anxiety is what you put in your mouth. Okay? I'm gonna say it like this. Change your food, change your mood. Change your food, change your mood. You feeling sad and depressed? Yo, what are you eating? Okay? It's gonna take about 2 weeks. You change your food, eat more clean, get more veggies in, get more fruits in. And then you don't have to be vegetarian. I eat meat. I just had steak this morning. Yeah. Yeah. So in moving forward, like there's a new wave of consciousness that's beginning to descend. And so we have to be in the positions to where our physical bodies, our mental, emotional minds are able to receive what is coming through. And because Hmong culture now, we're very in tune. As a culture, we're very in tune to the ancestors, to nature spirits. We are very in tune. It's in our blood. It's in our code. So, but the thing is, the food is making us fall out of tune. The things that we're doing is making us fall out of tune. So the moment you start to make these changes, just ask. I have no problem giving you this information for free. Yeah. But just ask, and then, but you have to stick to it. Don't ask me and then like, oh, you're paying $100. Just you know what I'm saying? But like, when you're in tune, then everything around you, the chaos will stop happening. When you're in tune, so okay, please explain this one more time. When you're not in the right frequency, the higher beings can only speak to you through the lower beings. Because you're all on the lower frequency. Because that's not that much. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the how can you ever receive positive? Okay? So, alright, on the fall. Hit me up later. Hit me up later.
I wanted, yeah, let's give a round of applause for all. And then we got about 10 minutes for maybe 3 questions, but yes, Nick, oh, perfect, you're gonna be helping with the mic, awesome, okay.
Yeah, but I just want to also say thank you to the panelists, okay, for joining the club. That's part of the reason why the Hmong Shaman Development Center was founded. Eventually, we would like to incorporate it as just a Hmong healing center or cultural healing center, because one of the Hmong descent or practitioner Hmong descent that already said, if you continue to use shaman, if we pass the window, we're not going to be able to help you out. So we're going to try to kind of maybe, what is the correct way? Desensitize or what is it? What high don't know when you high London dollar side yet. Often double your movement. For example, cũng chia chế sau nữa. Lower middle central B or more who they would be or lose shot or so. You got cũng chia the landlord and I got in like Chinese said, you have to be honest. So the landlord always say, "Got your salary technology. What are you gonna rent it for?" Pay your salary name. Oh, it's your name. You know, you're home. If it's a non-Hmong landlord, they will say, okay, explain a little bit more. What do you mean by cultural healing? Then after you explain it, they say, oh, our home is not zoned to do that, you know. So we're gonna find a way. So eventually we're gonna probably transition to the old cultural healing. So we talk more about cultural practices versus spiritual. Because like Dr. Gia said yesterday, Hmong shamanism is not a religion. It's just healing practices. So we're talking about water. Part of my healing is about language. That's why when we started this conference, I think either Nancy or Luki asked me, then why you insist on writing the Hmong name? Okay? Because part of my journey as a student of Hmong cultural healing is that you have to say it in Hmong. Okay? For example, my name is Neng, right? If you don't say it, Neng, or if you just say Xia, you become different. Article become a different meaning, but you have to be. And if you say Neng, there is also a different, but Neng has a completely different meaning. Okay? So, equal then parts of day, the purified, and everything in our body that consists of day. And I read it and heard somewhere they say, how do you make those holy water, especially in Catholic Church? When you go, they have holy water, right? Supposedly. But the formula, they said, man cannot make holy water. Only nature can make holy water. And you know who has that formula? Who has that formula? They put your can see it. So they said the only holy water on earth is the morning mist, okay? Mixing, dropping to that droplet. Not that be a holy water, man. In Mongtili, both formula there. But the meaning is life creation. Start with Lude, where the mom and the dad conceive, okay? And equal here, we talk about this specifically Hmong Lot experience. Okay? There's other reason why we chose to live off in the island. But one main reason is headwater, the purest water. When we have the headwater, that's the water source. All right? So, if you talk about being healthy, so I just want to highlight, based on the Western concept, we're amazed by it, but if you go back and just study a little bit deeper in Hmong cultural healing, we also have those concepts. It's just not written down. Okay? So don't share that. And we will continue to talk, because yesterday part of the conversation is how could we move forward with certification process, conversation. And most of you are licensed and certified, so that's the path that we're going, the word in your package. So thank you very much. Okay?
Thank you, Cindy.
All right. Questions?
Let's get some questions here. I know you get understand between lunch and lunch is getting set up, so who has a question? Yes, all right, good buddy. And then who else has questions? So one, anyone else? Okay, go for it, buddy.
Hello all, thank you all for sharing your wisdom. My name is Patty or Buddy. I have questions actually for the two gentlemen. So spiritual awakening is quite a lonely road. So how as a man, for women, I feel like we're just more able to find soul sisters. Starting my spiritual awakening, I've met so many women that I can connect with. But as a man, are you able to find your soul brothers? Either one can be answered.
Yes, that's a short answer. Yes. It's a very quick short answer. Yes, I can find them. I believe, at least through my journey, yes, it's good to have those women's circles, and yes, it's good to have those men's circles, and there's a lot of really good teachings in all of those. groups that you can find. But really, what I truly believe as far as like spiritual awakening is recognizing that like I'm not just a man, I'm not this body, I'm like not a woman, not a man, like that's not truly who you are. And recognizing that is a first step into spiritual awakening. And then beyond that, like, okay, like all these emotions that I have that I'm experiencing, whether it be depression or sadness or even like lighter emotions like love and joy and bliss and all these things, like even those, you're not those. Truly, you're not any of those emotions. And then beyond the mind, like, okay, all these thoughts in my head, thinking about my day, what am I gonna do? Did I turn the stove off? Did I lock the door? Or whatever it is. Even those thoughts, those are not truly who you are. Like moving beyond that and recognizing that there's a light beyond that, and that's truly who you are. And we have incarnated into this body to experience different things, emotions, thoughts, experiences in our life, to learn and grow from them. And you can find different groups, like you can find the soul brothers, you can find the soul women, and all of them will help to, you'll be able to learn from. But truly it's like finding a teacher who can recognize stuff like that and can teach that to you. Does that answer?
Your question was, how do men find other men?
Or happy.
Ally. It's difficult. So I'm going to say it is difficult. So no, I'm just thinking, there's no emotions here. Just strategy.
Silence is good.
But just that's what got. Okay. So it's like this. For men, we operate differently. Our biological construct is a little bit different. We tend to be more solo in nature. We don't talk about our feelings. We tend to look for strategies and solutions. So when we approach other men, because we have problems that we can't resolve or haven't been able to resolve on our own, and we've been suffering and struggling with it for a long time. That's when other men seek other men's help. Every man who we biologically, if you think about it, right? It's because you've been just sucking at it and it's just been suffering, right? And then you're like, dude, right? See, that's right. Yeah, because usually, right? Because as a man, we don't want to be seen as weak. We don't want to be seen as insufficient. We don't want to be seen as weak and feminine, right? We must be men. So we must learn how to embrace our masculinity. That's why we don't seek women's circles, men's circles. When we do, we hit up everybody for a little bit, and then we say, hey, what skill you got? What skill you got? What skill you got? Okay, I got this skill. How can I contribute? This is my skill set. What's your skill set? And then whenever I'm struggling with something, then I hit up another man who has that skill set. Right? So as men, we don't. Again, I'm different. So I'm different. So y'all gonna be triggered. So be it. No. Okay. Okay. For men, you have to understand that. I think. Let me say it this way, ladies. I would like to ask that you please reconsider. Young boys and young men aren't to be treated like women or little girls. We need people, other men and other male role models who will provide solutions to our problems. Everything that every man wants in life is pretty simple. Food, sex, money. That's it. Status, right? And in order for us to achieve these things, we have to develop a certain level of skill set and a certain level of mindset, of persistence, of discipline, of constancy that we have to learn, and we have to specialize in certain things. Otherwise, we are viewed and valued by other men as having no use, right? And so the challenge for men is that we have to specialize. We have to be the sharpest we can be, and that's how we provide value as men. Right? The more knowledge you have, the more useful you are. The more you are, the more status you gain. So for men, how we combine and connect is already going well. Like, how do we connect with other men? I think it's difficult. I think that in order way to do that is, we don't like to ask for help. That's not how we work. We seek help. We asking, sign the fail. It's a sign that as a man, I fail, I ask for help. That's why I'm asking for help. Men, we seek results, we seek answers, we seek resolutions. This is my perspective, and this is my perspective. But it's a difficult problem, and if I try to solve for a very long time, we'll stop right now. That's how we are. Right? Women, you see all the time. If you have a boyfriend or a man, you see him struggling. Like, how come you don't ask for help? Because he's a man. Shit. He's trying to figure it out himself because he's a man, right? And then eventually he'll go ask for help. And once he asks for help, that's because that's the thing. And the thing is we have very complex structures, and so I think that as men, it is difficult to find other men. We do have to put ourselves into networking situations. And I do think that other men who do have these skill sets and this knowledge must put themselves forward. So I'm making an effort to put my knowledge forward. So folks can come and ask. So men can come and ask me questions. So you can execute.
Thank you so much for this question, but I just want to remind everyone, you connect differently with who you connect with, right? Whether you're male, female. I believe that everyone has their own masculine and energy. So I teach my students, like, we all have both feminine and masculine energy. And I have siblings, I have brothers who are very feminine, but they connect with my sisters very well. So we just want to be mindful of the different energy that we have, feminine and masculine energy. So seek those connections, regardless of the male physical or the female physical. Just really throwing that out there. All right, next question. All right, go for it.
Do we have a lunch plan?
It's
almost lunch.
It's almost lunch, and we're 5 minutes after lunch. Are we good with lunch? Is lunch ready?
Do we have to wait? We're still waiting a bit, so.
Okay, so what was your question?
Do we have more opportunities for Q&A after or later, or throughout the evening or something?
They will be here this afternoon, so you go to them individually during lunchtime, but they have to eat, so make sure you're mindful of that. But at 1:30, we are providing healing sessions, 1:30 for the rest of the afternoon, so go up to them and ask them questions, but yes, go for it.
Okay, so then I have 4 questions. I'll ask you guys one of the most important ones.
Yes,
You
please.
know, in the Hmong community, a lot of young the youth, the kids are experiencing all these spiritual awakening. And I'm so thankful that you guys are all here. You guys are wonderful panelists. And Peng, I've never met a Hmong man that speaks like you and thinks like you. So amazing props to you, okay? Seriously, I didn't know there was Hmong men that existed. That's just all that stuff. But anyways, my question is, you guys have this workshop with your mouth. Do you guys plan on doing this with your youth? Because a lot of rising people, right, are your kids. And they're going through all this and they don't know. They feel alone. They don't know how to navigate through these spiritual awakenings. And they're going through all that scary stuff and all that things where they're experiencing where they think they're going crazy or it's affecting their mental health and, that it's affecting their academic experiences at school and how they connect and how they socialize, all that. Do you guys think that, you guys could maybe hold this kind of workshop for Yobo too, for like elementary students, middle schoolers, and high schoolers? Because since it's happening a lot to, take out Yobo. And even because, have Hmong that don't speak English too. Okay? Don't speak Hmong, okay? So.
For myself, I'll answer this question real quick. For myself, I don't have the time to hold something, but I can definitely get up and be speaker.
I'll just answer your question. So I think that's something that it's interesting to ask the question because yesterday someone from Face to Face came and I spoke with that person. She's like a program director or something. And if you don't know what Face to Face, oh, there you go. Yeah. So I didn't know that there's some kind of talks about that, right? Yeah. So I think that that's also something that as like Visionary Luminous is kind of also expanding and evolving. Like we really want to really hit up those places. And I'm also a mental health practitioner and also going, I'm also an active clinical psychology student as well, pursuing my doctorate program. So that's something that I would really think that and open up to, to kind of keep addressing our youth and adolescents and start hosting more events like this in the public for free for our youth and adolescents as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
And I'd just like to add that although we don't have a big center, we do have a small house rented specifically just for your questions. So feel free, contact me. We do have that for the panelist. If you have a little individual consultation or even do an incarnation, and the house is free for you guys to use. Okay, so it's right on Pennsylvania Right Street. So you can just walk. Okay, so feel free. It's for everybody, not just Hmong. Anybody want to use for healing purposes, feel free to call me and let me know. Okay. Any more questions?
Any more questions? For specific presenters or in general? Go for a second.
So I know for me personally, I have experienced a lot of spiritual awakening moments in my life for a very long time. It's not, I don't know if I want to become, some former leader, but maybe one day. How do you know when you become that spiritual leader? When you have to be certified, you have to go through a certain experience with a master. What do you know, draw that line when you become that specialized spiritual practitioner so that people can reach out to you?
Okay, I could answer that question, Simon. So your question is pretty much you are in the process of awakening and you try to find the path, what you're supposed to do, what the step you're supposed to do, correct?
More, if you can add a little more on top of that. Well, I'm at a point where I think I know my path. So very self-discovery, finding yourself, your purpose in life. But when is it that point where people can acknowledge you and come up to you and give you the advice and become that spiritual leader yourself?
And we get the question.
Okay, so for myself, I think it just has to do with just, okay, so for myself, I never wanted to teach. I never wanted to teach spirituality. I never wanted to do Qigong. I never wanted to teach it. I just learned it for myself. And then your job guy typically, they kind of force you, you know what I'm saying? Because I work for the mob. So they put a gun in my head and they say, hey, you're gonna teach Qigong. I was like, no man, right? And then, come on, they mess up your car, they mess up something, your back hurts, right? You're right, top of the head, you slip and fall, let's take your stuff. And then all of a sudden, and then you begin to have these, for me, I had financial problems that showed up, and they were like, we need you to teach. And I was like, no. Right? And then, like I said, tires popping, things like that, right? And then they're like, oh, you got one, okay, we're gonna, they had to pay my protection fees because they were messing up my car. So, and then I was like, fine, I'll start teaching Qigong, right? And then the moment I started to teach it, then all those problems went away. So it depends on how the problems are showing within your life. They will tell you certain things, right? They'll tell you certain things, and then they'll say, and it's usually something that you don't want to do. I never wanted to teach. But I don't want to be no governor or nothing. I just want to chill, be home.
Come on, you'll become one.
Yeah. No.
Protection fee.
But yeah, no, not paying protection fee for that. But so it depends on your journey. It depends on how things are showing up in your life. Pay attention to the signs. The spirits are talking to you every day, every way. So pay attention to the signs are being shown to you. People, you will hear conversations. Conversations are not just from spirit. conversations will speak through people to hear so you can hear. Okay? There is these signs and symbols, other things that will show up in your life that will guide you, that will tell you that, oh, I have to go this way. If you go that way and it's wrong, or they kind of guide you. Right? Like, oh, I have to go, let's do something else. Then you might like, I got challenges from the spiritual side. Right? So that's how I know, right? You guys know, right? My blood, right? Yeah. So when you begin to see that there are, so pay attention to the signs. How do you know? Be dependent upon your internal compass, upon the signs that are being shown in front of you, how the downloads are coming through, how the voices are speaking to you, and how the world around you begins to be affected. If the world around you is very negative, it's because you're on the wrong path, and they're doing everything they can to make you as comfortable as hell in order to make you move out of that position. If your world is in full alignment and there is light, then because you are doing the difficult things that you don't want to do, but you have to do because that is your soul's mission and your soul's plan on this earth, then everything will begin to align. So the choose and the choice is not necessarily up to you. It is an agreement that you have to remember. And it is through these practices, to eating clean, all these other things that I'm talking about, which allows you to receive the messages, and then you know. Okay, your intuition will be clear when you are clear. Your intuition will be pure when you are pure. You drink the beer, you do all the stuff, snort crack, okay, good luck. Everything around you, that's why they say that some people walk around and they say that those people are soulless. It's because you are not living in alignment, and that's why you can't hear. We have lost the ability to hear because of our food, our water, our everything, our thoughts, our inability to forgive. So we are not in alignment. The more you do these practices, I teach Qigong. This helps you put yourself into alignment. I teach you how to feel the subtle energies in the body. Right? And then when you can hear, this is the problem. I love this question because it's my question too. But how do I know? Right? So pay attention to your life. When things around you start crumbling, it's because they told you to do something you're not doing it. It's usually the thing that you don't want to do, that you know that you have to do. Oh, maybe it's this thing. No, wrong. Keep going. You get more suffering. The only way they speak to you is if the way they speak to you, if you're not listening, is they begin to create chaos around your life.
Sorry, Peggy.
Yes.
I'd like to add to that because I know people are hungry.
Yes.
But I
Sorry.
think for me, mine is kind of personal, so I want to add. In my family, they always said that but I didn't have anybody to guide him, or anything like that. But then he just kind of got through life with his guides, getting him to America, and then all of a sudden, I'm like this. But when the elders, they looked at me, they said, oh no, family, maybe you have guides, but they're not Neng. So I think that it's an education around like your family too, your lineage, to kind of see what you have, because you can also be like an herbologist, a wizard, artist is what you are. You can have healing arts through that, your hands, or you can be a light worker or anything else outside of that. So when you are very, very clear on your intention and knowing what you need to do, it's not about leading anybody, it's about putting yourself out there and they just come to you. Whatever it is that you're working through, your traumas too will guide you there. Say if you, for example, if you were abused at a very early age, 6 years old, and you've been physically abused all your life, and then you had to overcome that trauma. Okay? So you'll know you're going to be a healer of trauma. And we all have trauma, right? But you're going to specify it in a particular area. So when you get very, very clear in yourself, you do your homework and you find what it is that you resonate towards. Oh, I like that style. Oh, I like this style. No, you have to be compatible with the people you meet. Just like you have to be compatible to your seafood. Your seafood has to choose you too. The same way with like people who are learning healing arts too. Certain times, you both get to go learn it, but to practice it, you have to really, really hone in on it so that your energy is clear, your frequency is clear. And when that is very true to you and aligns with you, then you will be able to just put yourself out there. And it's not even about leading anybody. It's about putting yourself out there in vulnerability, and the people who resonate with your style will come to you. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. This is the last question. Feel free to keep the questions coming. But lunch is ready. But I just want to, again, encourage you all to stay a little bit after, ask some questions. I encourage you all to take each of them out to lunch, to dinner, to coffee dates. I've had coffee dates or lunch with everyone except for Suzanne. I've had like one-on-one with her at her office, but I encourage you all to ask out for lunch or dates or coffee.
I like steak.
Yes. What?
I like steak.
Steak. So again, thank you so much for staying here, keeping it real for the last 2 hours. And we're at lunch, and then 1:30ish, we're gonna start the healing session. So feel free to sign up for sessions, ask questions, and I want to get in that photo. Hold on.
All right, you guys. Picture partner, John Jonah, vaccination over here, $25 to target. Okay? And also we have the conference of Shaman t-shirt for you to grab. You could donate it in this box right here, but the shirt up there for you to take. All right? So as of and Sai is the one that printed out t-shirts, so thank you, Sai. All right? So anybody have t-shirt needs, talk to Sai. Okay? So again, t-shirts over here, the vaccination shots over here. So feel free